Hello, everybody. Now we are gonna start. Okay, our class, first class that I'm giving in English. So I need to say that. I have been giving a lot of classes in Spanish for a year now. And this one will be the first one that I'm gonna be giving in English to a whole group of people here. And even live in Facebook and to people. So when you hear something that is not corrected as my translation in my brain from Spanish to English, just please be aware of that. So this class is called Pure Heart. Why? Why is so important to know what exactly is a pure heart, and why is so important to have one in this moment? A pure heart, we're gonna be learning that is like a soil that is like ready to be prepared, right, to be sowed, so those seeds can be growing like very, very strong. So that is exactly a pure heart. So we need to work in that heart in order for it to become like a really great soil for that seed to come and grow in it. But why we need that? Because the Torah, what is the Torah? Torah means instructions or laws, right? That's the God laws or God's instructions. Where are they? Where are they? They are in the first 5 books of our Bibles: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. So those first 5 books contain 613 laws in there, and we are like, what? We don't have to learn them by just reading them literally, right? Because why we need that pure heart? When we start reading, everything that we are learning starts being sown in our hearts. Why? Because that is our renewed covenant. The renewed covenant that Jesus or Yeshua came to bring was that he was gonna write that law in our hearts, instead of giving those laws to us like in before, right? In table stones or in sapphire stones. So now we need to have that heart ready for those laws to be written in that heart, so we can obey with our heart, from our heart. So, but before I want to start, I have a surprise. Our Father has been, I'm going to pray before, but then I will give you the surprise. I'm going to pray before, just saying, Abba, I'm so happy and so grateful that you are giving this opportunity to your daughter now to give this first class in English that you told her. You told me, Abba, that I was going to start giving classes in English too, and now it's becoming real. It's because you were the one ordering this, because you gave something in me that I need to bring to others. Thank you again for using me as an instrument for my brothers and sisters to be feeling and having this spirit that you're putting in me, so they can bring it to others too. Thank you again. And I put this class in your hands, God, so you can put your word in my mouth so I can give it to others. Put your revelation, everything that you want to say here, so my brothers and sisters can understand with your own spirit. Thank you again. And in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, I put this class in your hands again. Amen. Amen. But I have this surprise now. Our Father sent me a song a few months ago in my dream. So he sent me the song in Spanish. And that song, it's called Call Me Father. And that song, the chorus, he sent it to me in that dream with the melody. And then he sent the lyrics to another friend of mine, and she sent it to me. And so we put it together, and I'm gonna sing it. So I translated to English, so you can literally have these lyrics in your heart. Okay. This is him designing a song for us, not we designing a song for him. This is huge. So please be aware that this is a pearl coming from heaven. Abba, and I will teach you great things. Call upon me, I will answer you, and I will teach you great things. Abba, 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 Father, Abba, 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 Father, call me Father, call me Father, let your heart feel I am here. Call me Father, call me Father, let your heart feel I am here. Can you feel me? I am in you, that is me. I'm your Father. Can you feel me? I am in you, that is me. I'm your Father. Call me Father. Call me Father. Let your heart feel I am here. Call me Father. Call me Father. Let your heart feel I am here. So, I hope you love that, because I am in love with that song, and he literally designed that for each one of us to teach us the beautiful relationship that he wants to have with us as a father and a son or a daughter, right? And that song reminds us that in Jeremiah 33:3, when we read, call upon me and I will answer you and give you and teach you great things and wonder things, right? Things that you will never learn if it's not from him. So he literally just sent me those lyrics, and my friend, obviously, so we can both put it together and play that for all of you to know what type of relationship he wants with us. He wants us to call upon him, calling him Father, Abba. And then he will be obviously answering us, saying, I am here and I'm in you, right? So let's start. This is the first time that I'm just singing this in English, and this is the first time giving a class in English, so I'm so excited too. Okay, and my classes, as you will start to know, I'm gonna start reading different scriptures that he have been bringing me regarding this theme. So we are going to be talking about a pure heart. So I'm going to be reading scriptures, not all of those scriptures that are in the Bible, you know, that talks about pure heart, but a lot of them. So in every scripture that I read, I'm going to give the scripture, read it, and he will bring a revelation. So I don't know what he will be talking in between the scriptures. So let's see. How about, you know, come here and let's start talking. Okay. But before, I need to say something for the people that are seeing me in Facebook Live that has the camera. I have a drawing here, and the people that are in Zoom are already told you about the drawing, about the vision of the ark. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to describe it. this is a vision that he sent me in probably 3 years ago. And you see like a really tormented sea, tormented, like a lot of very troubled ocean, and a lot of hands asking for help inside of that ocean, right? And there's a huge wave, like a tsunami wave, carrying an ark. And the first step that you will see, because there are 8 steps, 4 levels and 8 steps in those 4 levels, where those steps takes you to that maximum encounter with our Father and our Messiah, to be the bride of the Messiah. So the first step to be taken, it is having that pure heart. That's why I'm giving this class today. With this pure heart, we make sure that he takes us inside of the ark to be protected and prepared, right? So I'm gonna talk about the vision later, but I just wanted to make you know that this is the first step. Who's ready to take the first step to be in preparation and in protection mode? So when we go to the second book of Baruch, I will be reading books that are in the Bible, most of them, and books that were stolen from it. So in this book, usually it's not in all the Bibles. I haven't found it in all of them. So this is the second book of Baruch, 32:1. It says, "But as for you, if you prepare your hearts so as to sow in them the fruits of the Torah, it shall protect you in that time in which El Elohim, our Father, our God, is to shake the whole creation." So this is talking to us right now, because that hasn't happened yet, right? So when we see that there are fruits in the Torah. So what are those fruits of the Torah? We know the fruits of the Spirit. Those are in Galatians 5, right? But there are fruits in the Torah. And those fruits in the Torah are part of the fruits that were in the tree of life. The spirit of fear of the Lord, the spirit of might, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of knowledge, and the Ruach HaKodesh, that is the Holy Spirit. Ruach is spirit, HaKodesh is holy. So why we need to prepare our hearts? Because we need to sow in them the fruits of the Torah. That's why we cannot go directly to the Bible and start reading, trying to understand from our perspective, without having a heart being prepared. And what exactly is the preparation of the heart? Is the moment that we start forgiving. We need a place so sacred, so clean, in order for those spirits to come inside of us and start living without coming and going. No, they need to be inside of us every day, every hour. And the only way that they can stay within us is that we have prepared the area for them to habitate, right? For them to live inside. So forgiving others is the first step. You know, when we literally start to know what is going on, we start forgiving in a better way, right? Because when we start knowing that we have been disobeying the laws because we didn't even knew that they were there. We didn't even knew that we needed to honor the Sabbath. We didn't even knew that we need to do things that we thought that they were for Jewish people, right? So when we start knowing now that a lot of things that have been happening to us, like I was listening today for some of the testimonies they were giving, and I know that people were saying, some of the women were saying that they were struggling with the smoking or the alcoholism and things, even sadness. I felt sadness when some of them were talking. So I felt a lot of spirits inside, and if we don't know the root of them, or why they are there, we cannot take them out. We can be the best deliverers, and we cannot take them out. When we start knowing how we can close those doors, we have doors open for those spirits to operate in ourselves and in 3 to 4 generations after us when we disobey. even though we didn't even knew the laws. But because we were in disobedience, those spirits were legally in our bodies and in our generations for 3 to 4 generations. So our fathers, our grandparents, our grandparents, they were all in disobedience, and that's why we all have those spirits. So in our case now, we are the ones who need to stop that, right? We are the ones who need to close those doors. How we do that? By obviously obeying the laws. So before we go and check those laws and start learning, we need to clean the space. We need to forgive others, knowing that they were the one who offended us, who put something, you know, and I'm gonna say very, really strong cases. In the case that somebody molested a kid, in the case that somebody abused from with his couple, right? Or things like really somebody murdered your child, somebody did something like so hard to forgive. You need to be aware that that wasn't the person. It was a spirit operating through that person. When you start knowing exactly that and knowing the spiritual side of all of us, you start knowing and understanding that that person wasn't aware of what he was doing, and that person had doors that they were open since his parents or her parents, grandparents, and even before, right? 3 to 4 generations. That's why they were there. So you start forgiving that person from your heart, and you start blessing that person, asking God, asking our Elohim to go to that person too, and start creating a pure heart too there, so he can forgive or she can forgive too. So in that moment, you start literally just sending everything that you have been feeling in sadness and even when you are with how do you say coraje, like you know, you're ¿cómo tú dices coraje en inglés, Eliana? Like that you are with that person, that you don't want to speak to that person, you feel like that. You need to forgive in order to take that feeling out. You need to purify your heart. If not, you will never be able to understand the scriptures, neither to be able to create the huge, the powerful thing that God created inside of you. You will never meet it. So when you start forgiving others that way, then you start forgiving yourself for a lot of things that you have been doing knowingly and unknowingly, right? And the best thing is that now, because you know that Jesus or Yeshua, right? He came here to sacrifice himself so you could be forgiven. That's why you need to literally forgive yourself. And then when you are starting, I mean, this is a class that it will take a longer to explain, but I just want to make sure that you have an idea of exactly why that pure heart is so necessary. So after you forgive yourself and have been forgiving others, you start asking for that forgiveness from the Father. Because the Father will never forgive you if you haven't forgiven others and you still haven't forgiven yourself. So that is an order. I mean, not an order, I mean, there is an order. So, okay, let's see what Psalms 24, 3-5 says. It says, who shall ascend into the hill of Elohim, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul into vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from Elohim and righteousness from the Elohim of his Yeshua, his salvation. So what it means here, who shall ascend into the hill of Elohim? What is the hill of Elohim? Jerusalem, right? Who shall ascend in his holy place? Jerusalem, right? So he's talking about here the new Jerusalem. When it comes, who shall stand there? He that has clean hands. What are the clean hands? When you haven't have any criminal act in your hands. You haven't done anything bad to others. We have been doing a lot of things to others. But because of that, we need to forgive ourselves, right? Ask for forgiveness and forgive ourselves. And then we start creating this beautiful hands, you know, making sure that they don't have anything that made others to suffer. And a pure heart. So we literally need to forgive others in order not to carry that bad feeling inside that will create something really huge inside of ourselves if we don't start forgiving now. It says, who has not lifted up his soul into vanity. What is vanity? That do not bring fruits. Vanity is not just the luxurious things or glamorous things like people says. Vanity is anything that doesn't bring fruits for the kingdom, nor swung deceitfully. So obviously we haven't done anything that is not true. We are we have integrity. It says, he shall receive the blessing from Elohim and righteousness. What is righteousness? Their perfect obedience from the Elohim of his Yeshua, his salvation. So it says here in 1 Timothy 1:5, now the goal of the commandment is love out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned. So we have here that the goal of the commandment give us teachings too. We learn by obeying the commandments. The first 4 commandments, they teach us how to love our Father. The second 6 commandments, the next 6 commandments, they teach us how to love our neighbor. So our brothers, our sisters, right? And then it says here that the goal of those commandments is love out of a pure heart. So it teaches us how to love others in a genuine way, in the way that our Father loves us, without seeing each other as a woman or a man or black or white or yellow. We are all one into the Father, literally. He sees us like chips, very fragile, very tender, very sweet, very beautiful, and of a good conscience. So we don't have our conscience saying, oh my God, I feel so bad that I did this wrong. No, we have a good conscience too, because we know that we have been forgiven, because we have been doing now the things in a good way, not like before. And it says, and of a faith unfeigned. So we are not faking our faith. So we literally trust in our Father, everything is in his control. So 2 Baruch 46:5, it says, but only prepare your hearts that you may obey the Torah and be subject to those who in fear are wise and understanding, and prepare your souls that you may not depart from them. Okay, so we have been having a lot of leaders, religious leaders, giving us teachings, right? But are we making sure that they are in fear, wise, and understanding people? Are we making sure that can we literally know if they have that spirit of wisdom and understanding in the fear of Elohim? That is the clue, the perfect thing in here. It says, prepare your hearts. Now we are preparing by forgiving and cleaning everything inside, right? That you may obey the Torah, the instructions, the laws, the first 5 books of our Bibles, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Number, Deuteronomy, and be subject to those who in the fear of our Father, in that spirit of fear, they are wise, so they have the spirit of wisdom and understanding. They have the spirit of understanding. And prepare your souls that you may not depart from them. So it says here, second book of Baruch 85:4-5. If therefore we direct and dispose our hearts, we shall receive everything that we lost, and much better things that we lost by many times. For what we lost was subject to corruption, and what we shall receive shall not be corruptible. We know that there are in in the Gospels, there are scriptures that say something very similar to this, right? When it says, even when Yeshua said that just leave everything behind and follow me, take your cross and come with me, we know that there is a process. And at some point, we need to decide to, fast with respect to the world. So we know that we need to take a lot of things that they are supposedly very important in our heads right now, and we will be seeing that they are not anymore at some point. So we're going to be leaving behind a lot of things that as they are here, they said that things that we lost, we should receive everything that we lost, and much better things that we lost by many times. But what we lost was subject to corruption, and we shall receive what we shall receive is not to be corruptible. Why? Because those 7 spirits of our Father that are the fruits of the Torah are not corruptible, and those are the plenitude, the completeness, the fullness of having that spirit with that spirit of Him inside of us, and the same spirit that Yeshua had. Jesus was full of this. So when we have all those fruits in our spirit, we are having the Son and the Father with us. So that's why it's not corruptible. This is like the path to go directly to the kingdom. And it says here in Gospel of Matthew 5:8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. How we will see Elohim? Obviously when He comes back, right? So the only ones that are going there are the pure in heart. Nobody with feelings that they are feeling sad because somebody did this to them, and they are, fighting with their brothers because they did this. He doesn't care. He needs to know that if you're going to be like a Joseph, that he could be a person being so much rejected and mistreated and hated from his brothers and separated from his family for so long, when he saw them having so much power in his hands to do whatever he wanted, he didn't do anything but hug them and kiss them. And he literally made sure that everybody in his family was treated as a king too. That's how Yeshua, Abraham, Joseph, and even Moses, all of them were like that, with that heart full of forgiveness for others. And it says here, Psalm 119, 33 to 34. Teach me, O Elohim, the way of your statutes, and I shall guard it into the end. Give me understanding, and I shall guard your Torah. Yeah, I shall keep it with my whole heart. How we can keep the Torah in our hearts if the heart is not prepared? We need to have it really pure, because He said in that renewed covenant that He will be writing it in our hearts. So this is the way that this psalm, I believe, is my favorite psalm of all, because this psalm teaches the love that King David had for that Torah, and because he knew what fruits came from it. It's not just because it was a law, it was because he knew what spirits come from that Torah. And it says here in 2 Baruch 54:5, you show great acts to those who knows not. You break up the enclosure of those who are ignorant, and light up what is dark, and reveal what is hidden to the pure, who in faith have submitted themselves to you and your Torah. So this is something very, very, very like a parallel here. It says, you show great acts to those who knows not. So to the ones who doesn't believe, He will show great acts, right? And then it says here, you break up the enclosure of those who are ignorant. Who is ignorant? All of us were ignorant, because we literally didn't read the Bible as the way that we were supposed to from the beginning. So we were ignorant. We were we didn't have any knowledge of it. So it says then, and light up what is dark. What? What is going on here? What is dark is the darkness. It means no knowledge at all. When you are in darkness, when you are, everything is dark because when you are blind, you don't know anything. That's why you are blind. And it says here, and light up what is dark. Why? Because the lighting up is when the spirits come and light up the nations, light up your house, light up everything, because light means life. Light means the word of our God. That is light. What is dark? And reveal, this is the perfect one, the best one. Reveal what is hidden, the treasures that are hidden. He reveals them to the pure who in faith have submitted themselves to you and your Torah, to the Father and the Torah. So we need to know, we love Jesus. Jesus was the door to meet our Father. So we love Jesus. We want Jesus every day in our life, but we need to understand his message. He came here to sacrifice himself so we can meet the Father. We need to go to the beginning and meet the Father, honor him in order to walk with Jesus. Jesus was full of the Father. So we need to literally meet the Father. And it says we need to submit ourselves to the Father and the Torah in order to be to all the hidden things to be revealed to us. And it says here in Jeremiah 31, from 31 to 34, this is the renewed covenant. This is very important for you to know. Take notes, Jeremiah 31 to 34. So it says, behold, the days come, says Elohim, that I will cut a renewed covenant with the house of Jashrael and with the house of Yehudah, Judah. Not according to the covenant that I cut with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Mizraim, Egypt, which my covenant they broke, although I was a husband unto them, says Elohim. But this shall be the covenant that I will cut with the house of Jashrael. After those days, says Elohim, I will put my Torah in their inward parts and write it in their hearts. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Elohim, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, says Elohim. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. No way. Oh my God, I love this verse. So let's go from the beginning of this. Why he's talking about the house of Judah and house of Jashrael. What are those things? So it says here that he will cut a renewed covenant with the house of Jashrael and with the house of Jehudah or Judah. What is those? So the 12 sons that Jacob had, those sons were considered the nation of Israel or Jashrael, right? Why? Because Jashrael was the prophetic name that our father gave to Jacob, their father, saying and prophesying that from him, chosen by our father as his own nation. He said from Jacob that he's choosing Jacob for himself as his firstborn. He's saying, I will create a nation with his 12 sons that I will call them Jashrael. So why he says here house of Jashrael and house of Jehudah? Well, when they were in the desert coming out from Egypt, God gave them the Torah through Moses. And that was like a marriage, right? That's why he says here that he was a husband unto them. So he was creating like a marriage with them. So Jashrael was his wife, and he gave them the Torah as the ring, right? As the pact, as the covenant that he was making. Like, if you obey this, I will make sure that nothing happened to you. But what happened? A lot of time happened after that. They broke that covenant, and they literally started to disobey the Torah. So they were split into two houses or two kingdoms. So the south of the land of Jashrael, of the country that we know now, it's called the house of Jehudah because two of those brothers stayed there. After being in Babylonian and in Babylon for 70 years, they came back to Jerusalem to start obeying. So they are Jehudah and Benjamin there. So that lineage, that's why we call them Jewish, because it is from Jehudah or Judah. So it's not a religion, it's the lineage, right? But they have been creating a lot of religions under those. But so we have the house of Jehudah in the south of that land. But in the north side of the country that we know as Jezreel, they were the house of Jezreel, the other 10 brothers. What happened after that? They literally spread in the whole world. They don't even know that they are part of Jezreel anymore. So those are ourselves. Now knowing that we were part of Jezreel and we didn't even know that. Why? Because when Yeshua came, he was looking for those lost sheep of the house of Jezreel. Those things you can find them in the Gospels. So he said that he was looking for those lost sheep of the house of Jezreel. Why? Because he needed for them to come back to meet our Father, because we didn't even meet them. Our fathers, past fathers, disobeyed so much that we lost our identity as an Israelite, as the house of Jezreel, as the son of our Father. And why we call Gentiles, we have been knowing about Gentiles, right? Gentiles are people that doesn't obey the law. It doesn't matter if they come from the lineage of Israel or if they are people that they are part of the other nations. They are all called Gentiles because they don't disobey the law. They disobey the law. So please don't call yourself anymore a Gentile. That is like really shameful. So now you can call yourself a son of our Father, coming back to his to our identity as an Israelite. Why? Because we're gonna learn this new covenant right here in Jeremiah 31:34. Because he will be writing those same laws that he gave to Moses in those stones of sapphire. He will be writing them now, not in stones, in our heart. Why? Because when he gave them to Moses in those stones, they broke it. Now, in this generation that is starting to grow, he's giving those laws, he's writing those laws in our heart so we can literally obey from our heart. Because in that way, we will never break the covenant. That's why he loves more that younger son that is coming now, the ones that are being born now, because he knows that we will be obeying from our heart. So it says here, not according to the covenant that I cut with their fathers. That's why it said that, right? The day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Israel, Egypt, which my covenant they broke. Although I was a husband unto them, says Elohim. But this shall be the covenant that I will cut with the house of Jezreel, with the ones that they were spread in the whole nations. After these days, right now, says Elohim, I will put my Torah, my instructions, my law, the first 5 books of our Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and I will be their Elohim. The only way that he can be our Elohim is if we obey from our heart what is there. And they shall be my people. Why? Because the only people that he chose for himself, it was the seed of Jacob. And if we are not going to be part of it, don't think that you're part of his people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. Why? Because he will be inside of us, giving us the guidance of everything inside of those scriptures. That's why those spirits are inside of those scriptures. And every man, his brother, say, know Elohim, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them. And I will forgive their iniquity, and I will... What was the iniquity of the house of Jezreel? Going into prostitution with so many gods and religions that they forgot who was their father and even their husband. That was the iniquity. That's why Jesus needed to come, to literally sacrifice himself, to be able to, for the Father to forgive the house of Joshua that made that transgression as his wife, to be an adulteress. And it says, I will remember their sin no more. And what is going on here? Ezekiel 11:19-20. And I will give them one heart, one for all, like one spirit, one heart for everybody, the same one. And I will put a new ruach, a new spirit within you. And I will take this stony heart out of their flesh. Why stony heart? Because those were the hearts that were obeying the law from that moment when he gave it in stony sapphires. Now the one that we'll be having is a heart of flesh, so he can write the Torah in our hearts, and we can feel, so we can decide to obey with our desire. So whenever we are going to be honoring the Sabbath, we are delighting in that day, that they may walk in my statutes. Why he's look at this. This is the purpose of that renewed covenant. When he changed the heart, it says that they may walk in my statutes and guard my ordinances and do them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim. So obviously, if we don't have that law written in our hearts, because our heart are full of feelings that they are bad to others, he cannot write it. We cannot do the ordinance, right, and the commandments, and we cannot be his people. He cannot be our Elohim, our God. And it says, Ezekiel 36:25-27. Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you. Clean water, you know that water means his word, right? Clean water is something that he's cleaning everything with his word. But the water that comes through Yeshua HaMashiach, through Jesus, is full of wisdom. And I will give another teaching later with that, but you can literally, you have a lot of scriptures that says that. And you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new ruach, a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh, a pure one. And I will put my ruach, my spirit, within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes. Why he's giving a change in here? Because he wants us to walk in his statutes, and it says, and you shall guard my judgments and do them. That's the only thing he wants. And it says Ecclesiasticus. This is another book. It's not Ecclesiastes. This is another book that is called Siracides, I believe. So this is not in every Bible too. So it says Ecclesiasticus 2:17-18. They that fear Jukivakate will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of Jukivakate and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. So we need to prepare our hearts in the fear of Jukivakate. And Ezekiel 18:31. Cast away from you all your transgressions. What is a transgression? When we don't obey a law, even though we don't know about the law. If we are in disobedience, we are transgressing the law. That's what caused the sin. When we see the word sin, it is exactly transgression of the law. Whereby, it says, cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby you have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new ruach, a new spirit. For why will you die, O house of Jashrael? He's talking to us, the ones that are dispersed in all the nations, the house of Jashrael, right? The ones that we didn't even knew that were part of Jashrael. So now it says, why you will die? Why it says that? Because when we disobey the laws, that's why Adam brought death. Because he disobeyed, he transgressed the law, and he brought death. When Yeshua came, he literally was sacrificed to bring that, to quit that curse. So we don't need to have death anymore if we obey. If we are still in disobeying, transgressing the law, obviously we will see that and we will be dying. But if we go back to the beginning and start learning, obviously preparing the hearts first for them to be like a really fertile soil. So if we do that and start learning how to obey, we will have eternal life. We won't be dying. So it says here, Ezekiel 33:31 to 33. And they come unto you as the people comes, and they sit before you as my people, and they hear your words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show you much love, but their hearts goes after their covetousness. And look, you are unto them as a very lovely song of one that has a pleasant voice, and can play well on our instrument. For they hear your words, but they do them not. And when this come to pass, look, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. So what is he telling us here? That as a prophet, Ezekiel is being warned that there's a lot of people that will come to hear his words, and they will feel like, oh my God, they are so peaceful. I love those words. Tell me more and tell me more. But they won't do anything with it. They won't obey. They want more and more, because it is like David's harp when he went to Saul when he had his demons. So he was like playing the harp whenever he was feeling so much anxiety. But what happened? It was something temporary. He wasn't obeying. Saul was staying the same. So those people, we need to be aware when we are giving a word, or if we need to be aware if we are being that people that just hear the word and not do anything about it. Because it says that in their hearts they are going after their covetousness. So they are being covetousness. So Tobit 13:6. If you turn to him with your whole heart and with your whole mind, and deal uprightly before him. What does uprightly mean? Very, very obedient before him. Then will he turn unto you, and will not hide his face from you. So for those that were looking today how to take out those unclean spirits from their kids, from their self, that spirit of smoking and vicious of the alcohol, those things, you don't need to do anything else but go back, like he says, turn to him. What it turns means, turn is to go back and start over, right? With your whole heart, with your whole mind, and deal uprightly, like super obedient before him. And then he will turn unto you and will not hide his face from you. So he will be the one taking everything out without you even asking, because he knows what he needs to take out from you and from your children, even until 1,000 generations after you. When we obey, we go directly to Deuteronomy 28, and we will see the whole list of blessings that comes when we obey. And not only for ourselves, but for 1,000 generations after us. But when we disobey, we will be seeing there all the curses that we bring to ourselves and to 3 to 4 generations after us. That's why we have been seeing so many unclean spirits around us. And so it says here, 1 Baruch 2:30 to 33. For I knew that they will not hear me, because it is the stiff-necked people. This is the house of Jezreel that he's talking about. But in the land of their captivities, which is the land of their captivities? our lands right now, because we have been captive in these lands without knowing that we were part of those chosen sons, chosen nation. And it says, but in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves and what is going on now? We are remembering ourselves now, and shall know that I am Adonai Elohim, the Lord their God. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear. What does this mean? You remember when Yeshua or Jesus have been talking a lot of gospels saying, whoever has ears to hear, let him hear, right? It is because ears to hear means the spirit of understanding. So anybody that doesn't have that spirit cannot understand these sayings. It says, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear and a spirit of understanding, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think of my name, and return. This is the meaning of a perfect repentance, returning to the beginning and start over, everything new again. So it says, and return from their stiff neck and from their wickedness, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Elohim. That's why we need to be aware that everything that we are living now is in consequences of the disobedience, not just of ourselves, but our fathers, our grandparents, and even before them. Because those curses stayed for 3 to 4 generations. We need to stop it. So Deuteronomy 6:4-5. This, you need to record this. Like, you need to write this. Every morning that you wake up, just remember this phrase, this verse, because this is something when in the Gospels, there was this Jewish guy that asked Yeshua, tempting him. He asked him, hey, what is the greatest commandment of God, of our Father? And he said exactly what I'm going to read. Why? Because our Father wrote this for us to have it in our minds, in our heads, in our hands, and our heart. We need to know what Shema Israel means. Shema Israel, it means hear and do, hear and obey. So what does that mean? It says, hear, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Eloheinu means the Lord your God, or our God. I'm sorry, Eloheinu is our God. The Lord our God. Adonai is one. The Lord is one. Only one. And you shall love. Love means obey. Obey is love. And you can go to John and a lot of other scriptures, and you will find love means obey. And you shall love Adonai Elohika, the Lord your God, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. When you go and find what Yeshua said when he was asked what was the greatest commandment, he said exactly this. Everything that is in the Gospels is brought from the Torah. All the message that Yeshua brought was exactly brought from the Torah, from those first 5 books. Even when you read the prophets as Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Baruch, Daniel, when you go to the Psalms, you go to the Proverbs, all those books are talking about the Torah. So you need to understand exactly what it means, what is written in those first 5 books before even reading the Gospels. So you can understand exactly the message that Yeshua brought. But before reading, we need to prepare the hearts, right? So we can have the results. So it says here, 2 Baruch 51, 1-3. And it shall come to pass, when that appointed day has gone by, that then shall the aspect of those who are condemned be afterward changed, and the glory of those who are justified. For the aspect of those who now act wickedly shall become worse than it is, as they shall suffer torment, right? That this hasn't happened yet. Also, As for the glory of those who have planted in their heart the root of wisdom, then their splendor shall be glorified in changes, and the form of their face shall be turned into the light of their beauty, that they may be able to acquire and receive the world which does not die, which is then promised to them. I don't need to explain this, right? This is so beautiful. The ones that have planted in their heart the root of wisdom. Why? Because the Torah has all those spirits. All those spirits are in the understanding of those first 5 books. If we understand those first 5 books, we can understand the whole Bible. So that's why we need to prepare our heart as a really fertile soil before going into the Bible and start reading just because, and then start interpreting things. So let's see here, Psalms 119, 1-3. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the Torah of Elohim. Blessed are they that guard his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Psalms 119, 30-32. I have chosen the way of truth. What is the way of truth? His word. What is his word? The first 5 books of our Bibles. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That is the Torah, the way of truth. We need to understand it before we go and obey, right? It says, I have chosen the way of truth. Your judgments have I laid before. I have stuck unto your testimonies. O Elohim, what are his testimonies? His testimonies are the things that he made. The creation, and even the 10 plagues that he gave to Egypt, the way that he brought them out of Egypt, like opening the sea, those are his testimonies. O Elohim, put me not to shame. I will run the way of your commandments when you shall enlarge my heart. Why? Because if we want to obey, it's because it's coming from our heart. Proverbs 2, 10-13. When wisdom enters into your heart, where does it enter? Into your heart. How? By polishing it, circumcising it, creating a really clean and pure heart before going into the Torah to understand it. And it says, when wisdom enters into your heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto your soul. When we literally love to learn that and know the word, we are having pleasure on it, right? So it says, and knowledge is pleasant to your soul, discretion shall guard you. Understanding shall keep you, to deliver you from the way of the evil man. You want protection? This is the key. You go directly into that Torah with a pure heart, and you will have these: the understanding, the discretion, the wisdom, the knowledge, and it will be delivering us because it will be warning us. And it says here, to deliver you from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaks froward things, who live the path of uprightness, of obedience, to walk in the ways of darkness. Darkness, what it means? Disobedience or something that is unknown. When people doesn't know these things, they are walking in darkness. Proverbs 3, 1-2. My son, forget not my Torah, but let your heart guard my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to you. Nothing to explain there, right? Proverbs 3, 5-6. Trust in Elohim, in El God, right? With all your heart. How we can trust him? How we need to trust him? With all our heart. If we have a heart full of sadness, if we have a heart full of when we want revenge with others, something that we are feeling like someone did something to us and offended us, and we are like, like we are not feeling well about it, we cannot trust him. And even people start, like writing positive words and trying to remember those things so they can still face everything by being strong. But if they are still feeling those things in their heart, people won't be able to trust in our Father the way that he wants us to trust. There is a word that is in Hebrew, is called emunah. Emunah means God is in control. So that's the only thing we need to know. God is in control. While we obey, God is in control. If we don't obey, we are giving open doors for those unclean spirits to come legally and operate in ourselves and our generations. And it says here, trust in Elohim with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And it says here, Proverbs 4:20-22. My son, attend to my words. Incline your ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from your eyes. Guard them in the midst of your heart. Where he will be writing his law? In our hearts. That's why it says here, guard them in the midst of your heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. So you want to get health, you want to get healed from a sickness or a disease or something, something that is going on in your flesh, that is attacking your health. Close the door, go back to the beginning, prepare that heart, start forgiving others, start having that cleanness inside of you so he can start sowing his fruits inside of you while you start learning how to obey. And it says here, Proverbs 6:16-19. These 6 things Elohim hates. Yeah, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speak lies, and he that sows discord among brother. So a heart that devises wicked imagination, how can a heart devise wicked imaginations? Why and how? When we are feeling sadness because of something that happened, somebody did something to us, and we have been feeling that rejection or something that is not good, we start growing that feeling until a point that we can literally devise wicked imagination, like desiring something bad for that other person. And then Proverbs 7:24-27. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O you children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Her ways, it's talking about the major religion that has taken all of us out of his ways. So there is a big religion, right, that we all know about it. And from that religion, a lot of others came forth, right? So he's talking about those in here. It says, let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her path. For she has cast down many wounded. Yeah, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to Sheol. You know, to Sheol is the place where people, when they die, go waiting for that final judgment, but the bad ones, going down to the chambers of death. So it says here, let not your heart decline to her way. So we need to make sure that we literally are not doing doctrines about, the religious doctrines, because those are the ways that religion get our hearts when we are trying to defend something that is not from the Father. Proverbs 16:1. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from Elohim. So if we want to make sure that we want to prepare our heart, the first thing is trusting in Him, because it is from Him. And it says, Ecclesiasticus 40:26, riches and strength lift up the heart. So our heart gets lifted up by riches and strength, right? It says, but the fear of Yud-Keh-Vah-Heh is above them both. So we really need that spirit of the fear of the Lord before anything, even before preparing the heart. That is like the root of everything, that spirit of fear of Elohim. That's why we want to do it, because we have that spirit. There is no want in the fear of Elohim, and it needs not to seek help. I will tell you an example here, because He's putting it in my spirit right now. And it's because that person, I don't want to mention the name, but the person who said that she was struggling with the smoking and the drinking problem. I had a smoking problem like for 20 years probably, and I tried to take it out myself, and it lasted like 9 months. And then I remember literally just trusting Him, because I knew His power. I knew Him. And it was like probably 5 years ago that I remember saying to Him, I know You. If I do it by myself again, as soon as I feel like you know, the air like compressing my chest, I will go and buy more. But because I trust You and I know Your power, Your omnipotency, I said, take literally my desire from inside of me and take it out. I know You can do it. And He literally just did that in that same moment. Because I felt like a ball of smoke. It was like a black ball. Something came out of me that I didn't show it physically, but I felt it, and I saw it spiritually, obviously. And from that day, I haven't even had any desire at all. I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all. I told Him, I know You can do it. I cannot do it. And He just did it. And now I am around people that are smoking around me, and I don't even remember when I did it. It is like I've never done it. And, you know, that is the way that you start trusting Him. Like literally just put exactly what you really need in His hands, and just He will do it in the moment that you literally just trust Him. I didn't cast that a demon. I wasn't doing a deliverance. I wasn't doing anything but just trusting Him. Okay, it's what it says here, Hosea 7:14. And they have not cried unto Me with their heart. How He wants us to cry out unto Him. How was the song that He literally designed it for us? He wrote that song. He put it in my dreams and in my friend's heart. And this song only says, call Me Father. Let your hearts beat. I'm here. Call upon Me. I will answer you. But here it says, they have not cried unto Me with their heart. When they hold upon their beds, they assemble themselves for grain and wine, and they rebel against Me. You know how bad He needs to be feeling inside when people start like literally just, you know, asking for anything that they need, and then what? Rebel against Him? Because we don't know, when we are doing things that the religions have been teaching us, we literally are rebelling against Him. And it says here, Zechariah 7:8-10. The word of Elohim, it says, the word of Elohim came into Zechariah, saying, those speak Elohim Sebaot, Elohim from the, how do you say, Ejércitos? Oh, well, I will say it later. I cannot remember the word now. So, it's like an army. It's the God of the army, the God of the, okay. Those speak Elohim Sebaot, saying, execute through judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. So this is a counsel, that an instruction that our Father is giving us through Zechariah. Let's see how we need to do this. It says, execute through judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. So even though your brother wasn't good to you, show mercy and compassion. Forgive him. Let our Father take care of the rest. It says, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. How can you imagine something in your heart? We are thinking that we can imagine things with our mind. But how can we imagine something in our heart? Is when we literally carry something in the heart, a feeling that is not coming from him, that we will be growing and growing and start growing until it becomes an imagination in the mind. So it's like a seed that grows, and instead of being a fruit, it won't be a fruit. It won't be a fruit of him. It says here, Ecclesiasticus 45:23-24. The third in glory is Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, because he had the zeal in the fear of Jochebed, and stood up with a good courage of heart when the people were turned back, and made reconciliation for Jezreel. Therefore was there a covenant of peace made with him, that he should be the chief of the sanctuary and of his people, and that he and his posterity should have the dignity of the priesthood forever. What happened? What is happening here? Phinehas was the son of Eleazar, right? Eleazar was the first priest, not the first priest, but the prime priest in there when they were still before the promised land. So when they were there was this kingdom that wanted, this king wanted this prophet called Balaam to curse them, to curse Jezreel, because they were afraid of that Jezreel. And the prophet was saying, I cannot curse them because God blessed them. So, I mean, I cannot do it. So God was telling him, don't do it. So he knew that he couldn't do it, but he was getting paid. So he was a bad prophet. So he was getting paid from the king. So he said, okay, I cannot curse them, but I can let you know how they can be cursing themselves. So he literally gave that king a strategy for the people of Jezreel to curse themselves. Why I put this in here? Because we need to learn that even Eve, she wasn't cursed. Satan came to her to make her curse herself. He didn't do anything. He just manipulated the words for her to do the thing, for her to make a decision. So she literally cursed herself. And Adam, when he took the fruit from her, he literally cursed himself. He had the decision to say no and just the woman to be cursed. But no, they both made a decision. They both cursed themselves, right? So this prophet is saying that to the king. I cannot curse them, but I can let you know how they can curse themselves. So he gave them a strategy for the king to send a lot of women, full beautiful women, prostitutes, and very great, for the eyes, for the men, because they were literally in the desert, so they were needing women, and he knew that it would be easy. So when they went there was a law. There was still a law that Israel couldn't be mixed with any other nation because it will get contaminated. Why? Because of the idolatry that the other nations had, and that Israel was sanctified by our Father, having only one God. So when they saw those women, they were like crazy for the women, and they went together, a lot of them. So there was a curse in the whole nation. So all of them had like lepra, you know, like the palsy, I believe it's called in English. So they had an infirmity, all of them. So what happened? Phineas, that was the son of that priest, he was going to become a priest too. So he risked his title as a priest, as a future priest, by taking in his hands it was like an arrow, and cleave it onto one of the leaders of Israel that was with the princess of that king. So when he did that, he stopped the curse by taking the big ones, right? The head of the leaders. And he saved the whole nation from that cursing. So when we see that, we see him as an assassin, right? But God, our Father, saw it as another thing. He said, because he had a seal in the fear of Elohim and stood up with a good courage of heart. Every time that we see that word in the Bible, we need to make sure that we're not just reading literal. We need to make sure that it's something like very powerful inside of that word. Because when something comes from the heart, is literally an intention, a purpose from it. And it says, when the people were turned back and made reconciliation for Jashrael. So because of him, all Jashrael was saved from that curse. So because it came from the heart. And probably if he was just doing that without coming from the heart, you know, they were still in the curse. Okay, Zechariah 16 to 17. It says, there are things that you shall do. Now, these are things that you shall do. Speak you, everyone, the truth to his neighbor. So these are another counsel that our Father is giving us through Zechariah to do. These are the things that you shall do. Speak you, every man, that the truth to his neighbor. What is the truth? With the capital T, the word of our Father. The Torah, his instructions, his commandments, his statutes, everything that is written in the first 5 books of our Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates, and let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. You know that this is like the 3rd time that I read the same in different scriptures from a lot of books. He always said, let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbors. How you can imagine evil in your heart? By obviously making that feeling of rejection or anything. I'm just putting an example. A bad feeling growing in the heart and becoming something like really bad. Zechariah 10, 6 to 7. And I will strengthen the house of Judah. Remember? The 2 brothers that stayed in Jerusalem, that they are called the Jewish now. And I will save the house of Joseph. So he will strengthen the house of Jehudah because they do know the laws. They are obedient. He doesn't need to save them. He just needs to strengthen them. But he needs to save the house of Joseph. Because we didn't even know the law. So that's why we needed to be saved. Because the law, when we don't know it, we are disobeying it and we are bringing death because of that. And I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as thought I had not cast them out. For I am Adonai Elohim, I am the Lord their God, and will hear them. And they of Ephraim, who are those of Ephraim, are the same of the house of Joseph, or the house of Jashrael. They are the same, they are called the same. The same house of Jashrael, those 10 brothers that they are dispersed in the whole world, They are called the house of Jashrael because their dad is called Jashrael. They are called the house of Joseph because Joseph was one of the sons, and he was representing all of us. And they are called too the house of Ephraim because Ephraim was the son of Joseph too. That is representing us because Ephraim was a really rebel one. So it says, and they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yeah, their children, so we, the remnant, right, shall see it and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in Elohim. Who are we rejoicing in now? In our Father and the Son. So it says here, Psalms 15, Chukevakate, who shall abide in your tabernacle? What is his tabernacle? The one that is coming in when Jesus come back in that reign. The Father will be tabernacling with us too. Who shall dwell in your holy hill? What is his holy hill? Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem. He that walks uprightly, right, that is obedient to his laws, and works righteousness, obviously righteousness, obedience of his laws, and speak the truth in his heart, speaks the Torah in his heart. He that backbites not with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his neighbor, and whose eyes a vile person is condemned. But he honors them that fears Yukevakate. He that puts not out his money to usury, nor takes reward against the innocent. He that does these things shall never be moved. Psalms 19, 7-11. The Torah of Elohim is perfect, restoring the soul. The testimony of Yukevakate is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of Yukevakate are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yukevakate is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yukevakate is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yukevakate are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned, and in guarding of them there is a great reward. Isaiah 29, 13-14. Wherefore Yukevakate said, for as much as these people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips to honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is thought by the precept of men, therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among these people, even a marvelous work and wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. What happened in that moment? This was a curse that was given to Jashrael. That's why for 2,000 years we haven't been able to understand the scriptures until now. Why? Because this curse was exactly for that reason. They were what? Drawing near him with their mouth and with their lips, honoring him, but they removed their heart from very far from him. And literally the fear of the Lord, the fear of our Father, the spirit of that fear was taught by the precept of men, by so many doctrines. So that's why he said, no. So the wisdom of the wise men shall perish, and the understanding of the prudent men shall be hid. Now he's bringing everything back again to that pure person, pure-hearted person that wants to claim unto him, right? It says here, Proverbs 2, I'm finishing. Proverbs 2, 1-5. My son, if you will receive my words and hide my commandments with you, so that you incline your ear unto wisdom ear unto wisdom, your understanding unto wisdom. It says, and apply your heart to understanding. Yeah, if you cry after knowledge and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek her wisdom as silver, and search for her for wisdom as for hid treasures, then shall you understand the fear of Jukivakade and find the knowledge of Elohim. So this is the last one that I always finish with this one. I already told you, some of you, this one. And it's this, the Gospel of Thomas 27. If you do not fast with respect to the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as the Sabbath, you will not see the Father. So we really need to fast with respect to the world. How? We need to take out every distraction that we're having. And we need to sit down and start literally making a list of people that we, from our childhood, even our parents, everyone that have been making us feel like rejected or bad or any kind of feeling that doesn't come from our Father. And even though we think we already forgave that, please just put it in a list and start just each one of them, like individually start just praying for them, like, I forgive you for this reason. I know now that it wasn't you that was making this for me. I know now that even your family was opening doors for those spirits to come inside of you and operate it like that. And I just pray that our Father can go inside of you and you can meet him the way that I'm meeting him now. And just bless that person. Start praying for that person to start meeting God in this way too. That is the first step to start purifying our heart. And then after you start forgiving each one of those people in your life, start forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for a lot of things that we have been thinking that we have been doing right, even with religion, and we haven't. When we find out now that we were literally offending our Father, the first time that I learned that, because I was having rosaries, I was Catholic for 40 years. I'm 47 now, so it was like for 40 years I was like lighting candles with a lot of virgins and saints and having the rosary and things that it was so usual for me. It was like normal. So I was like from my heart thinking that I was doing it right. And when I learned that I was offending my Father with that, the fear of my Father, the fear of the Lord, it was so strong in me that the same day I put everything in trash. And after that, I started to learn His laws and why those laws were there. To protect me, to protect us. So why He created us and gave us some laws to make sure that we need to follow them so we can be protected and we don't do them. If He created us, why we will think that we can do our own laws? So He's the one making sure that we are being protected. So it is something that He has been showing me as the first step to just creating a relationship with Him. So the second step is starting to know Him in the scriptures. But before we go to the scriptures, definitely we need to purify the heart. We need to make sure that we have like a clean space, a very sacred space for Him to dwell within us. And even though that He said that He was going to write the law in our heart, so how He can write a law in a heart full of sadness and thinking that that person did this to me? Oh my gosh, if I tell you so many testimonies that I have, I have been in jail, and it was because somebody wanted me to be in jail just because. And it was really something I didn't do anything, but I was trusting my God when He sent a word from a prophet the day before saying, I'm going to send you to a place that you would never imagine you will be there. But trust me, I have a purpose. And in that moment, I would never imagine that it was going to be there. But it was a great purpose. It was a girl inside of that jail that needed faith. So he used me as an instrument to bring hope and faith to that lady or girl there. And now he's using that story, that testimony that I can give to so many people. I don't feel ashamed. I didn't do anything, but I trusted him. And he was very, very strong just being there. I remember, but that was one of my testimonies. I have a lot more, but I don't feel like nothing else now because he lives in me. I can teach others how make sure to live that process for him to start dwelling inside, and at the same time to have that shalom, that peace of Yeshua. Yeshua said it, I give peace, my peace. What is his peace? The one that never goes away. And so we need to prepare our hearts before start knowing everything. And I just need to make sure, because I know that there's a lot of babies here, and babies are the person that are like starting the process, right? So even though you know a lot, you could be a baby still, right? Because when you know a lot, it's like we are this glass of water, and very beautiful glass. And if we are full of dirty water, you could have a lot of knowledge and everything could be dirty water. So you will never feel or see yourself as a beautiful glass, right? So you need to make sure that you need to take out all that water and clean that glass so you can receive the beautiful, pure water full of wisdom. And when you are full, you give to others, so you can ask for more. And now that's why he put me to bring to others, like, and I can give it every time, every day if I can, because I know that he has more. And so we need to have that humility, that humbleness, to make sure that we are saying to ourselves, I do not know nothing. You know, I know nothing. God just put me in the beginning again, put me in that soil, and redesign me again. You know, like so I can be like the perfect human being that you needed me to be, and full of everything that you have inside of that Torah, right? So I can understand the whole Bible. Even if we want to read the books that are stolen from the Bible, we cannot understand them if we don't understand the Torah. So we need to prepare our hearts to be able to go and understand the Torah, and then go and find all those books that you want. Because if you understand the Torah, you can understand any other book. And let me read everything that I have having here. Okay, I'm gonna read because I have been just reading the PDF that I had. And okay, I'm here. Woman, no, you can speak my heart. I will not open to you. That's true. What she's saying is refreshing. I was afraid. No, so no, it's not for me. Okay, about Father Jeremiah 33:3. Yes, that is the song. I'm gonna sing it again at the end, so you can sing it with me. Hallelujah, beautiful pure heart song. That song was designed from him to us. I'll say here, que lindo, hermana Loriana, thank you so much. I wish we can listen to it in Spanish as well. I have this class in Spanish. Obviously the revelations I don't think are the same, because I just read the scriptures and he gives the revelation at the same time. So everything that I'm saying, I need to listen again to this same class. That's why I always record them. So in the YouTube channel that I have, de Los Valientes de Papá, there is this same teaching in Spanish, but I'm pretty sure the revelations are not exactly the same. Oh, thank you, Courtney, that you took that picture of the ark, the vision. Love it. Okay, say here. A link of Facebook. Oh yeah, Joseph's heart was one of the lessons the Spirit of the Lord taught me on how to respond to rejection. Yes, I am literally in that same teaching right now in my Facebook. I'm reading Genesis from the first chapter. We are going to the 42nd chapter, I believe, 44th chapter. Because I know how to deal with babies. That's why we need to understand that we are babies. And babies need to start from the beginning, right? That's why I always start reading Genesis from chapter 1 with people that wants to start learning what is in those first 5 books. What is not just the reading, it's the reading with the revelation. And so I will do that in English later. But this class, Pure Heart, was like the beginning, the first step before even reading Genesis. It says here, perfect repentance, return to the beginning and start over. Oh my God, just make sure that you all have that note. Perfect repentance. Good again. Returning back to the beginning and start over. That is exactly what the gospel of John the Baptism was all about. When he was saying, repent, repent, it was go back, do it over, like do everything over again, but do it right. and why he was saying the kingdom is at hand, because the unity of those 12 tribes, it was at hand. That's why now we are all unifying together. We are now unifying as brothers. But something that he just put me too, when some of the girls said today that our purpose was to go and preach the gospel of the kingdom. And he said that he was coming exactly in that moment when the gospel of the kingdom was all over the world, right? What exactly is that gospel of the kingdom? Is the unification of those 12 brothers. We need to understand that we are part of those 12 tribes. We don't care about whose tribe, which one is yours. When we are there, we're going to choose the tribe that we want. I will choose Joseph's. But we need to understand that we are part of those. Even if we are not part of the lineage. Joseph was married to an Egyptian. That's why he was prophetizing in that moment that we were going to be all mixed. So the children of Joseph doesn't have Hebrew blood alone. They have Hebrew and Egyptian blood. Making sure that we understood that we don't care anywhere from where we are. We could be part of Israel. And if we are not if we don't understand that we are part of Israel, and I'm not talking about the country, I'm talking about the nation that is all over the world. So when we understand that we are part of it, we will try to obey our best to our Father. So make sure that we are part of the kingdom, right? It says here, 4:15, I heard this today, the gathering is happening. The gathering is happening. That's why he's doing this. Wow, my army is meeting at the river of life. Okay, I'll say the river of life is his wisdom. The river of life. Life is light. Light is wisdom. River, water. It says, so his word, the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, there you find the wisdom. And it says the true lovers of God. Yes, because our hearts will be full of that law reading in there so we can obey from our hearts, loving him. The warrior bride, exactly defending, exactly as am I right now, defending what is him. The sons as daughter, as terrible as an army with banners. Love it. Beloved, the time is of the gathering has come. You are as pure as the sun. Oh my God, I will tell you something. I'm writing a class, a teaching that is called The Children of the Light. And that sun shining in the night is part of literally what light and life and wisdom means. As fair as the moon, growing like the dawn, as terrible as the army with banner. This is how the enemy sees you. It is happening in the spirit. Oh my God, I love that. You do not have to go to a physical place exactly to be part of it, dear one. It is for all of my children. All of my warriors are gathering in the spirit. Can you hear the clacking of the sword and the shield? And I have equipped you well, my warriors. Sword when you go directly to Ephesians with the whole armor of our Father. That sword is the word of him. So that word of him is those first five books. And the seal of the people that will be protected in those times are the ones who knows this. So this is why it's so important to prepare our hearts so we can start knowing exactly what is in there and start growing those fruits from our heart. Those seven spirit of him, right? It says, I have equipped you well, my warriors, you have been raised up for such a time like this. How the enemy has treated this, how he has treated my body, realizing their identity in me. What is our identity in himself? We are Israelites. We are his sons, the sons of Jacob, the sons of Israel. And says, for my strength has been made perfect in your weakness. Your weapons are not carnal, but mighty through your God for the pulling down of stronghold. It is the dawn of a new day. Love this. Amen. My grace, my faith. I thank you, Jackie. When it said leprosy, I didn't know how to say that word. I am sorry for grace, forgive me, Lord. So yes, I just finished the comments. So if nobody have any more questions, I know it's very late. I will be, let me see in Facebook if somebody have questions here. I'm so happy. I just finished my first class in English. And I believe I have more people watching this class than the ones that I given in Spanish. So, thank you, Leah, for those congratulations. You were the one blessed more than anybody. You had the double blessing because you were the first one who listened to my voice, to my teaching in English. So from this is the beginning. He literally told me a few months ago that this was, I have all those teachings prepared already, but this is the first time that I give them in English. So he put me aware that I was going to give classes in English. So you were the first one who received this. So thank you to all of those that are sending congratulations. So I will sing the song so I can finish the class with it. I always start and finish my classes with this song in Spanish, so I will start doing it in English too. But I will explain the song. As I told you, Jeremiah 33:3. It is a verse that let us know, like he's telling us, call upon me and I will answer you, right? And I will teach you great and mighty things, like things that we will never be able to understand if it's not coming from him. That's why he always go and tell me, like, go to the beginning so I can teach you these great things. So, this is a song that he gives us, telling us that way, like how to call upon him, calling him Abba, calling him Father. And then he said that he responded this way, call me Father, let your hearts feel I'm here. Can you feel me? I am in you. That is me. I am your Father. This is exactly the lyrics that are here in this song. And he's the one telling us how to call upon him and how he responds to us. So, okay, I'm almost without voice. This is the second class that I give today. So, okay. Abba, 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 Father, Abba, Father. Call me Father. Let your heart spill. I am here. Call me Father. Call me Father. Let your heart spill. I am here. Can you feel me? I am in you. That is me. I am your Father. Can you feel me? I am with you. That is me. I'm your Father. Call me Father. Call me Father. Let your heart spill. I am here. Call me Father. Call me Father. Let your heart spill. I am here. Well, Leah, she says, I pray I can hear this song in my sleep. Leah, I literally heard it the first time in my sleep and I haven't stopped since then. And now my students in Spanish class, they are literally singing it with me. So you will be hearing it in your sleep and you will be singing it in the mornings. So it will be him. It will be himself in you. So thank you all for listening to this class, first class in English. It's called Pure Heart. And it was an honor. Thank you, Prophet Coffee, for inviting me. Arthur, thank you, Arthur, for inviting me too. And Corey for being here, making sure that I was giving the best for you all. So I'll give you the microphone now. So, thank you to my Facebook friends right here that listened to the whole class. I hope it was like full of blessing for you all. And I send you a lot of blessings and shalom for all of you. Bye.